The first judge wouldn't marry us, Chrissy.
Yeah, the first judge that was assigned to marry us declined to, conduct
Just said no.
ceremony.
No.
Said no.
We jumped through so many hoops. We were delayed 6-8 weeks. We went to the city hall maybe 7 times. Extra photocopies. We finally went to Hall of Justice 4 times, 5 times, extra photocopies, extra. Then they put you in a lottery system, call back in a week, they assign you a judge. Well, finally we got assigned a judge, and you can't get a date until you get a judge. And then we heard from the judge, no, he won't marry you. What was up with that?
Well, there's some reasons, maybe a busy or tight schedule, but who knows? It's only the judge knows what the reason.
Yeah.
But I would say it's worth the struggle.
Well, you got married. But we have 2 expat friends here in town who got married at the Hall of Justice, and one told the story that he was married with another young couple, and so the judge called both couples into chambers, and the judge must have been having a really bad day because he asked the other couple what their religion was. And oops, one was Catholic and the other one wasn't. And he seemed to have a real problem with that. And then he asked my friend if he was marrying his wife for sex. And he said no. And he asked the young bride if she was marrying him for money. And she said no. And he looked at the couple that was mixed religion. And he looked at my friend and he said, get out of my courtroom. I'm not marrying you guys. So that was that was 5 years ago.
Do you want the latest information for Philippine expats and expat vloggers? Then you're in the right place. Welcome to this Sunday's edition of Expat News, where I cover the latest stories and events affecting expats and the expat vlogger community in the Philippines. Well, hi, I'm Eric, and welcome to my Island Expats channel. Just as a reminder, these expat news videos come out first thing Sunday mornings U.S. time. So let's start this week's edition with some recent highlights happening for both expats and expat vloggers in the Philippines.
Severe tropical storm Christine devastates the Philippine province of Batangas, where at least 47 people were killed. The victims include 18 people who were buried alive in a landslide. Dennis Datu reports.
Tragedy in the province of Batangas after a landslide due to severe tropical storm Christine burned 12 houses in the town of Talisay. 18 bodies have been recovered, most of them children. One household lost 6 people, including 5 children.
Pinaka-kayamanan ko sa buhay na wala. Ngayon, bukod tangi, pinapasa Diyos ko na lang ang lahat. Kung ano man ang kahinatnan ng buhay ko, sa aking mga pamilya ko na lang inaalala.
Among those missing is an 11-year-old child.
Sobrang sakit po talaga. Halos parang hindi mapakali, hindi makakain, hindi makatulog.
Talisay Mayor Nestor Natanawan said he ordered residents to evacuate. The mayor adds he visited the village, but 20 minutes after he left, the landslide happened. This was disputed by one of the residents.
Sinasabihan naman, dahil siya first time lang ngayon na nangyari, parang hindi sila masyadong nakikinig. Parang ganun.
Wala naman po kasing abiso sa amin po na pwedeng lumikas.
The national highway in Sampaloc village is still blocked by large rocks, logs, and thick mud. Several heavy equipment are now conducting clearing operations, along with some residents who were manually shoveling the mud. Many vehicles, including large trucks, were also swept away by the floods and eventually buried in mud.
Hindi siya gayong kalakas ang forecast. Kaya nagulat na nga lang kami, sobrang dami ng tubig na binagsak ng ulan. Tapos yung mga baha, napuno ng buhangin yung mga iglog, kaya umapaw sa kalsada.
In the nearby town of Lawel, 5 fatalities have been reported. This area remains isolated. In Agoncillo, 8 deaths were recorded. Authorities say they still cannot access the villages of Bilibinwang and Banyaga. Based on data from Batangas Police Provincial Office, the deaths were caused by drowning, landslides, and electrocution. 17 people are still missing. Over in Lemery, the highway is covered with thick mud. Residents and businesses have started clearing efforts, but the lack of water supply is a problem. Meantime, the Batangas Provincial Hospital says it is not accepting patients for now due to lack of electricity and water supply.
Make sure you stay tuned for the Every Couple Has a Story segment coming up shortly as I give the story how one of our popular vlogger couples have met and some of the details of their relationship. That will be followed by the Expat Lightning Round, where I cover a few interesting short clips from expat vloggers, and these will both happen right after the main content of this video. And now it's time for the video of the week. This is where I give you a summarized version of one of the best videos I came across in the entire week.
Here we are in the Philippines. You've heard the whispers, right? Third world country, they say. But what does that even mean anymore? Let's explore it, because I've been living here in BGC, Manila for over a year, and it's a topic that seems to be bouncing around the heads of a lot of people, especially those back home. They imagine me sitting in a tin shack, wearing a straw hat, fending off chickens with a stick. But I've got some bad news for you. Life here isn't exactly like that. So picture this. It's Saturday night, 10 o'clock, and I'm strolling through BGC. You've got your neon lights glowing, restaurants buzzing, kids running around, couples holding hands. Pretty standard Saturday night, right? The kind of evening where you sip your overpriced iced latte, people watch, and wonder what the hell you're doing with your life. There's a sort of electric vibe in the air. You can feel it. And yet here we are, apparently in a third world country. Third world, huh? You know, that term used to mean something. Back in the day, it was a Cold War label. Now, I'm not sure it holds any water. I'm standing here in front of a skyscraper that looks like it belongs in New York or Singapore, surrounded by people who are dressed better than I am, which admittedly isn't hard. And I'm asking myself, where's the poverty they promised me? Where are the homeless people, the stray dogs, the chaotic scenes that you're supposed to get in a developing nation? Sure, don't get me wrong, poverty exists here, just like it exists everywhere. But the Philippines gets slapped with the third world tag a little too liberally, like it's a sticker someone found at a garage sale and couldn't resist slapping on a nation of 120 million people. I guess some folks still expect every corner of this country to be dirt roads and donkey carts. But then again, those are the same people who still think the USA is some flawless beacon of democracy. Oh yeah, the USA, my old stomping grounds. Let's talk about that for a second. A place that's 1 month away from another presidential election. Will it be Harris? Trump again? God knows. What I do know is that whoever wins, civil unrest will be the special of the day, served with a side of, what the heck just happened to my country? I mean, let's be honest, I left for a reason. But what I can't quite wrap my head around is this. If the Philippines is third world, then what does that make the US right now? I look at BGC. Clean streets, well-dressed people, a social scene that's alive and thriving. Then I think of the States, the political circus, the riots, the uncertainty. And people want to call the Philippines third world? Give me a break. Maybe we need a new category, something more fitting for the times. First world problems, third world vibe, fourth world leadership. And yet here I am in this developing nation, living in a high-rise apartment that cost me, what, $600 a month? Yeah, you heard me right, $600. And it's not some rickety old building held together by duct tape and prayers. This place has amenities, a pool, a gym, and I'm living comfortably. More than comfortably, I'm thriving. So I walk out of my building and I'm surrounded by these quiet, kind, demure people. Filipinos aren't rushing through life like they're in some kind of race they didn't sign up for. They're taking their time, enjoying the moments, the small stuff. Meanwhile, back in the US, it's all hustle, hustle, hustle. Gotta get ahead, gotta make more, gotta be more. The constant grind, Like life's a treadmill. You can't quite step off without falling flat on your face. So if this is what third world looks like, sign me up. Because what I've got here is peace. It's perspective. It's living in the moment in a place where people still have time for a smile, where they aren't driven mad by the constant need for more. Sure, the Philippines has its issues, but name a place that doesn't. And honestly, when you get right down to it, if I can live in paradise for $600 a month in a tropical city that never sleeps, surrounded by some of the nicest, most genuine people you'll ever meet, well, you can call it whatever you want. Third world, developing country, island in the sun, doesn't matter. But hey, don't just take my word for it. Maybe you should come see for yourself. Take a walk around BGC on a Saturday night and decide if this so-called third world country lives up to that outdated, overused label. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. Saturday night in BGC, and let me tell you, it's a vibe. Look around. This place is buzzing. It's like the whole city just decided to show up for some unspoken party, and it works. People from all walks of life are out here. Families pushing strollers, teenagers on their phones, lovers holding hands, friends laughing over cocktails, coworkers grabbing a late night bite after a long week. It's a melting pot of humanity. And guess what? There's no chaos. No shouting matches over who cut in line or drunken brawls over spilt drinks. Everyone's just living. Now, I don't know about you, but that's not exactly the scene you picture when you think third world, right? It's more like something out of a European postcard, or dare I say, the kind of night you wish you could have in a place like San Francisco or LA. But let's be real for a second. Would you really, and I mean really, feel comfortable taking 3 generations of your family for a stroll in downtown Portland, Oregon at 10 p.m. on a Saturday? Would grandma be feeling good about herself, leaning on her walker, surrounded by, well, you know, the usual suspects of city life in America these days? Yeah, I didn't think so. That's a big, fat, rhetorical question, my friend. You don't need to answer. We both know the truth. You'd be clutching your pepper spray like it's your lifeline, hoping that your 10-year-old nephew doesn't accidentally step on a used needle, or that your 90-year-old grandma doesn't get into a fist fight with someone screaming at the sky. Ah, America, the land of freedom, anxiety, and portable hand sanitizer. But here in this so-called developing country, we're chilling, literally chilling. People here aren't rushing through life like they're late for their own funeral. There's a kind of ease, a rhythm to the night. Even the way people walk is slower, more relaxed, like they've figured out a secret the rest of the world hasn't quite cracked yet. Maybe that's the heat. Maybe it's the culture. Maybe it's the mango shakes. Who knows? But whatever it is, I'm here for it. It's almost funny how much the narrative gets twisted when you talk about a place like the Philippines. The moment you mention Southeast Asia, some people think it's like you've wandered into the Wild West of poverty and despair. But what they don't realize is that places like BGC have evolved. They're modern, vibrant, and yes, even luxurious. Yet for some reason, people can't seem to shake that old third world label. It's like calling your uncle who drives a Tesla old-fashioned because he still owns a record player. Here's the thing, this country knows how to mix tradition with modernity. You'll see that as you walk through the streets. One second, you're passing by an old Filipino lady selling street food, and the next, you're standing in front of a high-end shopping mall that would make Beverly Hills blush. The contrast is striking, sure, but it's also what makes this place feel alive. It's real. It's gritty in some places, polished in others, but it's always authentic. You want to know what else is real? My rent, $600. That's right, $600 a month for a place in the sky with a view that makes you feel like you're living in one of those fancy Instagram posts. And don't even get me started on the food. For what you'd pay for one meal back in the States, you can feast like a king here. But somehow this is a third world country. Someone clearly forgot to update their travel brochure. Look, I get it. People have their preconceptions, but that's why you're here, right? To see for yourself.
And now for our Every Couple Has a Story segment. Let's see what we have in store for this week's vlogger couple.
Hello, everybody. It's Mrs. Rob here, and welcome back to our channel, Fly Me to the Philippines. We just got married.
We just got married. Welcome to the wedding video. We're going to share with you our prenuptial photos up in the mountains of the Bucanans at Communal Ranch. We had a ceremony on Friday last week at the Justice Hall, and we were married.
What have you been accused of?
I want you to know I'm here as a witness.
The first judge refused to marry us, so that's a little bit of a story. But we were married. We had our witnesses and family members, and we went to a small, intimate gathering at a restaurant called Cuesta Roquia, which our friend Michael Smith from That Philippines Life, Michael and Catherine came from Iloilo and Rojas City to visit us. They featured that restaurant and interviewed Jim, the owner, along with his wife Evelyn, just this 2 days ago. You may have seen that. So we had an intimate gathering Friday night, and then we had a wedding reception at Ultrawinds, which is directly, you can't quite see it, but we'll show you a picture of the white roof. And we had 100 guests, and we had 12 subscribers, 10 consulting clients, 7 solo consulting clients. We had friends, and we had golf buddies, and we had card buddies, and we had neighbors, and we had a party, and we're going to share with you everything.
Yes.
Chrissy, did you have fun?
Yes, I really had fun, and I was so happy that we made it and we're done with it. And for you guys who's watching right now, we would like to share it with you because I know that a lot of you were with us during our journey here in YouTube channel, and we will be very happy to share with you the big day of our life.
We were in the dress shop, and they had this dress that you may have seen Chrissy wear, this peach-colored kind of Miss Universe dress is what I would call it. And it was just a hoot. I thought Chrissy should try it on, and holy cow, when she put that dress on, the budget went out the window. I don't know what happened.
I don't know why, because the original plan was just for me to wear the rental wedding dress
yes.
that I'm gonna wear on the event. But then you saw this dress and it just caught your eyes, and you told me to try it on.
Yeah.
And I tried it on,
and it fit perfectly.
He don't want me to remove the dress.
Yeah, it was
off the
crazy.
V
And
anymore.
once I saw the dress, I felt like I should just build the whole wedding around the dress. And we sprung for a photographer. Now, we used a gentleman named Glenn Palacio, who's well known here in Cagayan de Oro because he's the official photographer for the Miss Cagayan de Oro pageant. And in 2017, he was the photographer for Miss Universe and he's filmed, we have a very famous, the most recent Philippine Miss Universe, Pia
Words back. Catriona Gray.
And he has a photo in his portfolio where he's shooting Pia and Catriona and one other Miss Universe winner or contestant. Winner.
Yeah.
Looking like a bride. It was magical. This picture of you up on the rock, they took this picture where Chrissy's standing on a rock in the dress. It was just amazing.
Who says it's easy to be a model?
No, I think it's hard. It was very hard work.
Very hard.
And the same thing in the West would have cost, I think, 10 times more.
Wow.
And we had 12 subscribers at the wedding. 7 came solo that were consulting clients, and 4 came with Filipinas. So, Chrissy, before we get to the big reception, which was on Saturday, we had 25 Filipinos sleep over.
Yeah.
Everybody's in the shade. Everybody's in the shade.
And I got to tell this story. So before everybody came, we went out and bought a 50-pound bag of rice, and we still had a third of a 50-pound bag of rice left. And Chrissy says, we're going to need more rice. And I'm like, oh, you're going to be crazy. We got like 60 pounds of rice there. And she says, well, we're going to need more rice. And I argued, and I said, no way. Yeah. And that was like Thursday before everybody got here. And Monday morning, Chrissy's like, we're out of rice.
Yeah. So like usual, women almost always right.
Yeah. So who knew? I always tell your father not to eat anything bigger than his head when he gets a bowl of rice.
That's 25 people.
We bought 3 additional. We have 4 bedrooms, 4 baths. We bought 3 additional we had an extra mattress, so we had 8 mattresses in the house.
Yeah.
And I offered to rent a 3-bedroom, 3-bath house about 2 miles away. And what did you say?
They will not like it. My family will not like it to be separated, because what they like, even though they will sleep like sardines, as long as they get to bond to each other, they will be happy and the stay will be worthwhile.
Yeah.
And I told you about like, what if we will do the wedding into our province? And I'm gonna tell you, the number of people that will be in the house will be like 3 times.
Yeah. So we had what? How many children? We had like 8 children under the age of 7, and it was crazy. We ordered a 7-course buffet from Ultra Winds, and then Chrissy said, "Well, what about the lechon?"
Yeah, of course. In the celebration here in the Philippines, especially wedding and birthdays, you should always include lechon, which is, like part of the
How many kilos of
party
lechon
already.
was it?
I think that was like 30 kilograms, and the other one is like 27.
So we spent $200 for each pig, roast pig, and they're smaller pigs, so they're more delicious when they're not full grown.
Yeah.
And it was $200. So on each side of the buffet, we had a lechon, and then we have a good friend, Christine, who has got a catering business, and we'll show a little picture of her contact number right here. But she catered an appetizer table, and she catered a dessert table.
She gave me a drink, and actually you can see it from the video where I was like, bringing the drink.
You were a little happy at one point.
I was like asking, what is this drink?
We had Ray, our acoustic guitarist.
Oh, he's very good.
Very good. We had a sound system DJ, but we didn't really use him. And Christine, who catered the desserts and the appetizers, she acted as the MC. Yeah.
It's like, for her, it's a big thing, really.
Yeah. And then Jim, my golf buddy, who you've seen at maybe some of the waterfalls, he appears a little bit. We had Alma, your girlfriend, give a speech. We had karaoke. Chrissy, you sang. When we did a duet, we did an Elvis song. What did we sing? Do you want to sing a line of it?
Can't help falling in love.
How does it go?
Wise
Men say. Okay, so we sang that, and Chrissy blew everybody away. And then she sang "Dear Future Husband" because, like, the last time she could sing it, because we're already married.
Yeah, unless if I'm gonna change the lyrics.
Next morning, we just had every man for himself Dutch breakfast, and here's a picture of Michael from that Philippines life, man down. He blew up his knee walking around at CDO, and one of our guests was a physical therapist, and it looks like he's in serious trouble here on the floor, but he was getting checked out by one of our guests, one of my clients. What does it feel like to be married?
Happy. I feel like being settled already, like less worried of the future.
Yeah.
Well, my question is, which part of the wedding is your favorite?
Oh, seeing you like in that wedding dress. We got the first batch of photos back before the wedding, and seeing you at Communal Ranch in that dress, that was just really a pleasure to see you so happy and looking so good. There was a period in the court, and we're both with a napkin on our eyes. We're crying because, the judge wanted us not to read our vows, but to speak them from the heart and not have them memorized. And that was hard. And I started to tear up. And you did too, and the clerk of the court ran out and got tissues.
I bet the back also were crying.
They were probably everyone was crying, and there's a great picture with me and Jim and Ivan all goofing around there afterwards, and that was a really special moment. I loved the way the venue looked, and I liked having our out-of-town clients and subscribers and collaborators, YouTube people show up. I loved it all. I love the networking that has been part of our life since we've done this YouTube channel. Yeah.
And my favorite thing about our wedding is that our public kisses. I can't count how many times did we kiss
in public for the photographer often.
Yeah. But the thing really is when I saw these people that we didn't meet yet in person, but they were there on our big day, that really a very warming feelings.
And things are making forward progress. We're married, Mr. and Mrs. And now, I sit here sometimes when I'm thinking, and I kind of do this with my ring. It's an interesting thing.
Really?
It's the biggest change since I've been married. Sometimes when I
when you gave me this
contemplate.
ring, I was like, keep touching it while we're making videos. Now you too.
Now me also, yeah. And to Chrissy's family, who was really, really helpful. They traveled a long distance. Some came from Manila. Some came by bus 7 hours from Pagadian. We slept them lined up like sardines in a can. They were such a pleasure. And, it's really interesting in an age gap relationship to see your family members being so loving and accepting and so proud of you.
Let's finish up this week with the Expat Lightning Round. where I quickly cover interesting clips from expat-related channels.
Okay. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name's Peter Maduris from Atlanta, Georgia, USA.
Okay. Peter, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
How old are you, Peter? Would you
I'm
like
70 going on 21
70
because
going?
I act young.
We're here. Where are we at? We're at the IT park.
IT Park, Cebu City.
Okay. How do you like it here?
I love it.
You love it.
I love it.
Okay. Have you been any other places in the world other than?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've been living in Costa Rica 4 years. I came from Costa Rica here 5 months ago.
Okay. So you was in Costa Rica for 4 years.
Yeah.
So did you like it in Costa Rica?
I did at first, but it got very expensive there.
Okay.
And a lot of Americans and Canadians go there,
Mm-hmm.
and they're still going there. They think it's still cheap, and it's cheap. It's like a 4-hour flight from the USA, so
Yeah.
it's convenient to go to Costa Rica.
Mm-hmm.
But after being there 4 years, I decided to go to the Philippines. I've always wanted to come on the other side of the world to Asia, so I made it. It's the best decision I ever made.
The best decision.
The best decision.
So you've been here for 5 months, and you already know that it's the best decision.
I'm not moving out of the Philippines. I may travel to other countries, but I'm here for good. Because for one thing, as a retired American, I don't have much money, but I live like a millionaire here.
Okay. Well, would you like to share how much money you do have, or you
Yeah.
don't have to? Or?
Yeah, I get $2,200 a month.
Okay.
It's like $6,000 here.
Okay.
It goes a long ways, but you got to be careful how you budget money, or you go through that money quick. And everybody speaks English here, where in Costa Rica, 90% of the people speak Spanish, so you have to translate on your phone.
So that will do it for this edition of Expat News. If you're interested in seeing travel-related videos that often include places and life and beauty of the Philippines, then please check out my other channel, Life Across the Sea, where I cover faraway places, people, and culture. Be sure to like and subscribe, and hit the notifications button so you can be notified of future videos once they're available. I'm always interested in your thoughts on these expat news and other videos, so please let me know in the comments section your thoughts of this edition. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.